Hi, today we're going to talk about the abandoned asylum. Thanks for the support. Let's begin. There was a house at the end of the road that no one ever went near. It had been abandoned for years, and it had a dark and eerie presence that sent shivers down the spines of anyone who dared to approach it. But one day, a group of teenagers decided to explore the house and see if they could uncover its secrets. As they walked through the overgrown yard, they could feel the weight of the house's history bearing down on them. It was a large, imposing structure with broken windows and peeling paint, and it seemed to be holding its breath, waiting for something. The teenagers cautiously made their way inside, and they were immediately struck by the overwhelming sense of foreboding that filled the air. The house was musty and damp, and it was filled with the remnants of a life that had long since passed. But there was something else there, something that whispered in the shadows and watched them with unseeing eyes. As they explored the house, they found strange symbols etched into the walls and floors, and they heard the sound of footsteps coming from empty rooms. But the most unsettling discovery was in the basement, a room filled with old newspapers and articles about a string of unsolved murders that had taken place in the area. The more they delved into the history of the house, the more they began to feel as though they were being watched. They would hear whispers in their ears and feel cold fingers brush against their skin, and they knew that they were not alone in the house. One night, as they were preparing to leave, they heard a sound coming from the attic. It was a low, mournful moan that seemed to be calling out to them. They cautiously made their way up the stairs and found a small room with a single chair in the center. As they approached the chair, they could feel a presence behind them, and when they turned around, they saw a figure standing in the shadows. It was a woman dressed in a flowing white dress, and she had a look of pure terror on her face. The teenagers tried to approach her, but she vanished into thin air, and then they heard a blood-curdling scream that seemed to come from the very depths of the house. They ran out of the house as fast as they could, never looking back. Years later, the teenagers still talked about their experience in the house at the end of the road. Some believed that it was haunted by the ghosts of the murder victims, while others thought that it was a portal to another realm. But one thing was for sure: they never forgot the feeling of dread that overtook them when they entered the house, and they never went back again.